And hello, movie lovers. Welcome to the show. With me tonight, I have my good friend Tomeka. Say hello to everybody.
Hey, everyone.
And tonight, we're actually going to be reviewing the last Blockbuster documentary review. And this is something that we've been thinking about doing for a while now and everything. And it's just, now feels like the right time to do this documentary.
hmm
So, here's the thing. I love Blockbusters. I remember going into the Blockbuster store in Boston. I remember working for a video store. It was not Blockbusters, but it was Movie Gallery. But still, let's go on ahead and talk about this documentary for a minute. So basically, this is what everybody thinks that Netflix was the cause of the Blockbusters closing. I'm hearing a little bit of an echo, just a small bit. It's okay. But yeah, here's the thing. We all think that Blockbuster closed because of Netflix. But that's not necessarily the case. Because in 2004, they had 9,000 stores with 16,000 employees. And then after that, they were down to 12 stores when Sandy's started in 2004. Ellen Payne owned 44 Blockbusters, 3 remain. And that's pretty impressive whenever you actually look at it, where you have 9,000 stores in 2004 with 16,000 employees, and then all of a sudden it winds up turning down to 12 stores, which is crazy because I remember back in the 1980s is whenever it was really booming at that time.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
But what are your initial thoughts on it?
I like the documentary. I just happened to scroll through Netflix and I was like, the last Blockbuster. I haven't heard that in a while. Wow. I looked at the documentary and it's just one big nostalgia fest. Just remembering even how the people in the documentary describe the smell of Blockbuster.
Right.
Like, you go into the Blockbuster and one person is like, it's like burnt plastic, but in a good way. Like it's a good, like fresh burnt plastic. I don't know how to describe it. And somebody said a smell of khakis. And I think one guy from Smash Mouth was saying he wanted the smell of Blockbuster as a car freshener.
Yeah, he wanted yeah. Which I thought that was actually pretty funny if you think about it. But
yeah,
I miss the nostalgic smell though. I miss the smell of going into a Blockbuster. To be honest with you, I remember Glenn, this guy at Blockbusters. He used to hold my movies for me whenever I got up to Boston and everything, and he would have a stack of movies ready for me whenever I came in. My grandmother would go ahead and rent those movies for me, and I would just have a stack. And Glenn was actually the type of person that would actually reserve the movies for me, like the new releases and stuff like that. And Blockbusters at that time opened up at 10 o'clock a.m. in Boston. And my grandmother would go ahead and wait outside, waiting for Blockbusters to open.
Aww.
So, that was my memory of Blockbusters. And of course, Glenn was just an awesome employee too, because he would also recommend certain movies. That's one thing that I miss is the interaction with other people rather than the 5-star rating system that we have on like Redbox and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
I miss that one-on-one interaction with other people in the store that might actually recommend a movie to me, rather than just reading somebody else's opinion that might actually be a troll or someone that just didn't really care about the movie or whatever. But still, I love going into a Blockbuster. I still remember. Matter of fact, I have that smell right now. Just remembering going into a Blockbuster, to be honest with you. But it's just crazy on how the time worked back in the 1980s. And when Sandy started, like I said, in 2004, she was only they were only down to like 3 remaining stores with $100,000. Get this, $100,000 to buy. The cool thing about this, though, if you actually think about it, is this. Basically, how this actually came to be with us renting videos from the video store and stuff like that was the day of the rentals. And I loved how they talked about that, because that opened up the doorways for small mom and pop stores to actually have their video stores open and stuff like that. As a matter of fact, a couple of entrepreneurs got sued by the studios because of the fact that they didn't have the rights to actually sell anything, with of course being a rental store, and of course it took get this $100 to rent a movie at that time,
Yeah.
and we think that we're poor now, you know, but then they decide, hey, look, we're going to go ahead and sue them to the Supreme Court, and then the Supreme Court told them that they're not breaking any rules or anything like that. As a matter of fact, they sued them for $100,000.
Mm.
Or well, yeah, it costs $100 to buy a movie from a studio, and then they sued the video store owners and brought them to the Supreme Court. Supreme Court overruled them, and video stores were born. 1990, Ken Tesker opened their first store, which cost $400,000 to own your own video store.
Those were the days.
Those were the days, all right. But yeah. This is also the doom of the mom and pop stores, though.
Yeah, sadly.
Because then every 16 hours, you would actually have a new Blockbuster opening up.
Mm-hmm.
Which is really impressive. You wouldn't even think that many Blockbusters would actually have the power to open up. But in select states and stuff like that, they were opening up like crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, I was fascinated with the term rev share. Like how we talked about the mom and pop stores, they could only afford like 3 copies of a movie that just came out. And Blockbuster came up with this thing with rev share where they would negotiate it down to like, is it like $2 or $5?
Yeah, basically it would actually cost.
Like
yeah, basically what they do is they would actually negotiate with the studios, Blockbusters would. And therefore, they didn't have to pay a large fee compared to a mom and pop store. They would actually have to pay maybe $5, maybe $2 to $5 for that.
Yeah. 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 And then the studio would get the profit of sales from what Blockbuster got from their movies. So Blockbuster could have like 100 copies of a movie, whereas a mom and pop shop only had 3 copies because that's all they could afford. So yeah, that pretty much was the end of mom and pop stores, even though I still see a few of them around Georgia. Like I still see some here and there. So
well, another thing though too that I want to mention is this. They even had to pretty much almost blackmail this one person into turning his store into a Blockbuster.
Yeah,
because they said if you don't, there's going to be another Blockbuster that's going to be moving down the street from you.
Yeah, Soprano style.
Right.
Bust his kneecaps.
But I remember going into a mom and pop store.
Mm-hmm.
As a matter of fact, in my town, we had a mom and pop store called Video Station, and my friend Kyle, his mom owned, well, it wasn't the owner, but she actually was the manager over there at Video Station. And basically, you can rent any movie you wanted, but you only had 1 copy or 2 copies of that film.
Yeah.
And I remember a couple of times, Hocus Pocus, whenever it came out on VHS and everything, and we wanted to watch it, there was like 1 copy of it. We didn't have a Blockbuster near us, so we couldn't actually go to a Blockbuster. So basically, Video Station was it. That was the only place you can rent a video. And there was actually a couple of video stores before Video Station and stuff like that too that I remember going to as a kid. But Video Station was one of the places that I went to. It was like, oh, this other person's supposed to be bringing it back and everything. You can wait if you want. I was like 10 years old.
No. Yeah, they talked about that in the documentary, like similar to your story. For Blockbuster, one of the guys, they was like, well, when can we get the movie? He was like, oh, this person supposed to bring it back by like midnight, like yesterday or something. And then they was like, oh, I'll just wait. And then the guy was waiting around. And then he was like, hey, what are you putting in the drop box? And they told him the movie. He was like, oh, I'll take that from you, yoink. And then he'll go in the Blockbuster store.
Right. And sometimes you might get a gold mine though that you never even expect if you got it from the Dropbox either. Because yeah, you might be waiting on that new release, but there could be an older film that you never saw before, or something that maybe one of the Blockbuster employees might recommend.
Yeah.
And I went several times on a recommendation.
Yeah.
And everything. And it turned out to be good. Sometimes, it wasn't so good, but still, I just like the interaction. That's just me. Brandy says, I remember the excitement of looking for a new movie to watch. Me too. I remember going into a store looking for the new movie to watch. As a matter of fact, I like how they did the nostalgia factor of date night and everything too, and having an argument back and forth about what movie that you're going to rent. And then also too, if somebody goes into action adventure and the other person comes in with a rom-com, it's pretty much like, okay, this might not work.
I think it's a good first date to
Mhm.
take, back then, to take your date to Blockbuster and say, okay, is this going to work out? No. Okay. Let me cut this loose.
Right, before it even gets more hectic
Yeah.
than what it is.
Yeah. No second dates.
And also too, this is like the dawn before Netflix and chill and all that. And I like how they brought that up. It's like, okay, yeah, you get to do Netflix, but it's not the same as going into a video store and picking up that video and looking at the back of it and knowing what it's about.
Yeah.
In fact, other stores before Blockbusters, they would used to hide the videos tapes underneath the counter so that way nobody would touch them or anything. And Blockbusters was like Best Buy. They allowed you to have the freedom to touch anything that you wanted.
Yeah.
And to be able to look at everything.
Yeah, they talked about that too, when we were talking earlier about the mom and pop stores and how Blockbuster dominated the market. Blockbuster, in the documentary, they said it was different because they actually put the movies out on the shelves for you to touch. And in the mom and pop stores, they had to go in the back and get them.
Yeah, that's the rated R movies that they because
yeah.
As a matter of fact, David Cook put it into that though because everything is right there out in center.
Yeah, and he got rid of the porno section.
Yeah, that's always a plus. I wish that movie gallery would have done that.
It's a family-friendly atmosphere. So
right
now it's all open. I was impressed too, like just with the documentary and then my memories of going into Blockbuster. I can understand like it's easy to navigate. So I think that's what made it inviting as well. Like everything was kind of like spaced out. And you can go in and through the rows of movies. It was very bright. Mm-hmm. It was blue and yellow. I don't know if there's any like psychological breakdown of what blue and yellow does, but it just seems to make you happy.
And not only that, but easy to find a store as well. The bright colors.
Oh yeah. Yeah, especially at night. It looked gorgeous.
It really did. Although we didn't have the big, huge Blockbuster sign out in Boston. We just had Blockbusters and just the sign with the logo, and that's it.
Oh, well, that's good enough. It still looks gorgeous.
It does. I have a couple of stories later on that I need to talk about, though, too.
Please
about
Blockbusters
do. Please
do. Please do. Well, I was going to ask, have you ever worked at Blockbuster, John?
No, but like I said, I worked at Movie Gallery, which was close enough for me. Mm-hmm. And that was my senior year of high school in 2003.
Cool.
So that was basically my first real kind of job that I had.
Mm-hmm.
Because before that, I was actually doing landscaping.
Oh, okay.
So, that was actually my first job that I had, and I loved it. I loved the interaction with with people. As a matter of fact, I remember one of my friends asking me if we had Jerry Maguire. I said, yeah, I just put that movie up not too long ago. Here, let me go in ahead and get it for you. I would go in ahead, grab it, and give it to her and everything, and that would be it. And also, too, it has a great conversation starter, but at the same time, you also have some of those angry customers. It's like, how dare you let my son watch X-Men United? I'm like, it's a PG-13 movie, ma'am. There's more violence in Jaws than that, and that's PG.
Exactly. Hello.
It goes, and you're the one who also gave your son your movie gallery card.
Exactly.
While you went into the grocery store. So that's not on me. rented this from you, but I'm sorry for the inconvenience, but you're not going to end up getting a refund for this movie.
Yes, you tell him, John.
So I had to rename Calm and everything too and collect, which was hard to do, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
But no, like I said, David Cook was named at Blockbuster's video, rated our videos in the back and everything too, like we mentioned before, was in the back of the store with the little beads and everything. As a matter of fact, in Alabama, at this little mom and pop store, or maybe movie gallery itself, they actually had the back section like that. And then you had this creepy guy that works there following you around.
Yeah.
And like, we're going to actually go back there and look and see what he has back there. So yeah, we ended up leaving that Blockbuster, not that Blockbuster, but that mom and pop store. But another thing though I want to mention is the fact that Sandy actually had to get the software databases, and
I was going to mention that too. I found that fascinating. That was like one of my favorite parts, like just watching her, a woman, to just take apart the pieces of the computer and try to put it back together just so that the POS system can function again.
Yeah.
Like those old IBM computer parts she had back there.
Yeah, she had a Frankenstein it and everything, which I found really fascinating.
Yeah. I hope now, like, since this documentary has gone out, that their POS system has updated. Like, that their computers are updated.
Well, it's kind of hard to do that because of the certain software that's within the Blockbuster stuff.
It's true.
Though, too, and plus it's also built on floppy disk. Remember what she said about floppy disk and everything, too?
Yeah.
So that's also another thing. Too bad there wasn't a way to actually convert the hard drives into the other hard drives that we have today and doing it that way.
Yeah. Blockbuster iCloud. That would have been awesome.
If only it was thought of back then. But the new Blockbusters opening had, like I said, new Blockbusters was opening every 17 hours. Sandy goes shopping for new movies every Tuesday. She goes shopping at like Targets, Walmarts. I just started thinking to myself, that's just crazy that you would actually buy 5 or 6 movies of the same title and then put it up for people to rent.
Yeah. That was pretty crazy. I saw that and I was like, wow, this lady is dedicated. She needs a raise, first off, because of all the things she's doing.
Especially with all the kids that she has, all these foster kids that she brings in from the stores.
Everybody in that town has worked for her. Like, that was their first job, was working for her. And she's been there, like 15 years or so?
Yeah, since 2004.
It's crazy.
And at that time, it was 14 years ago, but I think it's longer now.
Oh, yeah, it is longer.
But not only that, but Blockbuster was able to have several copies of a movie versus going to a mom and pop store, like we mentioned, where they might just have one copy of the movie that you're looking for. And then, of course, Blockbusters was able to go to the studios and negotiate with them revenue deals, which is those share revenue deals. Instead of paying $72, you pay $2 to $5 and share the revenue.
Yeah,
with the studios, which was the end of the mom and pop stores.
Yeah.
And matter of fact, Pacific Video dominated the mom and pop stores because they thought they were this big, huge franchise thing like Blockbusters is at that time, was going to be at that time. And they weren't. They were just a mom and pop stores. They were going to call it Coyote Video.
Yeah, Coyote Video.
And everything. So I just thought that was interesting. But it was also cheesy, though, if they did Coyote Video. I think Pacific Video was perfect. But that's just...
Yeah.
But that's also, too, this is also when Blockbusters goes ahead and tells them, hey, look, we're going to open up another Blockbuster. And if you don't go ahead and... When you don't go on ahead and rename your store Blockbuster.
Yeah.
So
yeah, they basically took over, and then you saw the sign in the documentary that was like formerly owned by Pacific Video, but
Yeah.
now it's a Blockbuster. So yeah, Blockbuster like monopolized that whole thing.
Pretty much they were like the Sopranos of video stores, if you
Oh
think
yeah,
about it.
Blockbuster was Tony Soprano. It was
Right.
like, boom, I'm finna bust some kneecaps, and I want your money.
And I want your store. Or else
Yeah,
there's gonna be another store.
yeah. Dang.
But and then of course Pacific's now I liked how they actually handled the transformation of the store because they managed to keep the staff on board. Everything was the same. It's just that the logo was different.
Yeah.
So I like the fact that they just because they changed direction on where they were going with this mom and pop store, they didn't get rid of anybody.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that was good. Yeah. They just
So
had to change into those khakis and
yeah,
that blue shirt and convert to corporate.
exactly. And then of course Sandy has to dig, like I said. Then of course Pacific Video was turned into a Blockbuster. Sandy has to dig out the hard drive, which is the motherboard for the PO systems to make the computer systems work. Now, 1986, there was 20 stores.
Mm-hmm.
In 1994, Blockbusters had 3,600 total stores.
Wow.
And Viacom used Blockbusters as a money machine, borrowing against for future revenue.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how they actually lost most of the majority of their money, was because of that deal, that share deal that they had.
Yeah. Yeah. And the economic boom in 2008 just really tore them down as well.
Right. And this is what I find funny. This company got CEO of Taco Bell at the time to take over.
who revamped Taco Bell with the chalupa.
Right. With just flatbread, a chalupa, and bingo. He was all Taco Bell became like the #1 fast food restaurant.
Yeah, chalupa wrapped with a hard shell taco. Wow.
Not that enthused on the chalupa, I take it. But
okay. I like chalupas too.
I do too. I like the chalupa cradle.
He did a good job. He was smart. He just couldn't save Blockbuster, but he saved Taco Bell. So that's
I think at that time, here's the thing. I think at that time though too, it was a little too late to save it. And even whenever Dish Network tried saving it, it was too late for them. Because they already had, this company already had stock invested into them and was using them as a cash cow to steal from them. But there's also some other factors though too, besides them, which I'm going to get to in a minute.
Yeah.
Because it shows how dumb they are, because I feel like they forgot where they came from.
Oh, yeah.
So we're going to get to that in a minute. But Blockbuster took the company public, bringing in $465 million public offering while leaving it in debt over competition, started to wipe Blockbusters away. Blockbusters had a chance to buy Netflix for $50 million.
Yeah.
And basically, I love the whole entire puppeteer thing that they used in the documentary. And there's this one dude that's there to present something. It's not like Netflix has a million people that come with them, but there's this one puppet that has the end for Netflix. He comes out there to try to present it. And you have all these guys over there laughing their asses off over at Netflix.
Blockbuster.
Yep, Blockbusters was laughing their asses off at Netflix because they didn't think that they were going to dominate or do anything. All they saw them as was someone that just sends DVDs into the mail and that's it, and that it wasn't going to do anything. And then I started thinking to myself, you guys are forgetting where you guys actually came from. You came from a small business and everything with the guy Cook. Remember? You came from a small place and then you expanded it. Netflix is doing the same thing. They're starting off small, and then they're going to expand, and they're going to be bigger than what you think they are going to be. And I feel like that Blockbuster has lost its identity. They didn't know where they were, who they are anymore, or anything like that. And then, of course, they think that they're going to last forever and everything too. But reality didn't even set in yet or anything like that on how much money that this other company is even taking from them.
Yeah.
Which forced them into Chapter 11 bankruptcy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, like you said, once Netflix, the puppet show, as I like to call it, the puppet was like, hey guys, just reenacting how the meeting would have gone. Hey guys, I'm Netflix. You want to get together, or if not, we're gonna wipe you off the face of the earth. And Blockbuster, like, get out of here, fool. You don't know what you're talking about. We're Blockbuster. We're the shit. Boom. We're gonna be here together forever, forever, ever, ever.
Forever? Yeah.
Ever? No. And it was, what I found fascinating was the creator of Netflix. He created it because he was pissed off about late fees. He's like, I'm pissed about these late fees. I'm gonna create Netflix.
And the next thing you know, it Blockbusters does away with late fees, and they also start doing the whole entire deal. Okay, you can't come into Blockbuster, no problem. We'll mail you out your DVD to you. Yeah. I'm like, you are a bunch of idiots because you still don't get the concept of what Netflix is doing. They're trying to evolutionize the way that we watch video and movies and things like that. They're thinking old school. They're thinking of the old school way, the old school mentality and everything. And it's not going to work because look at the digital age now. If they would have actually embraced it, I think that they would have still been alive today.
Yeah. Yeah, they, like you said, they didn't see far ahead. They were still stuck where they were, thinking that people would just continue to come into the stores and get VHS. VHS would be here forever. What they didn't factor in was technology, how advanced and growing it was. Like once the DVD hit the market, then it was like, well, what do I need to come in for? This company over here, Netflix, said I can pay, gosh, I forgot how much it was now, but those were the glory days. It was like $5 a month. I can pay this and I can get like 4 movies in the mail. And then with you, I have to, it probably was limited to 2. I never did the Blockbuster mail-in thing. I don't know if you did it either. Oh yeah, so I don't know what it was, but clearly it wasn't enough as much as Netflix was.
No, definitely not. And not only that, but Netflix at that time also had this thing where you can actually check off a movie that you might want to watch later on and select your 3 or 4 movies. And then after you get done with that 1 or maybe 2 discs, they'll send you in the other ones on reserve for you.
Yeah.
So therefore that did away with, we don't have this movie in our store. So you're going to wait until somebody else came. Even with the millions of movies that they had on reserve, well, not on reserve, but for the new releases, all those boxes were gone.
Oh, yeah.
Because I remember going into a Blockbuster and it was a new release. And if they had maybe 20 copies of a movie, and all 20 copies are gone.
Yeah. Yeah, because those people didn't pay their late fees. And like they said, that the people that don't pay the late fees, they just keep it and they like, screw you, Blockbuster. And then next thing you know, there was 20 and now there's like 19, and then there's 18, and then there's 2.
Right.
Like you can threaten people all you want. I think Blockbuster probably should have took those people to court.
You want to know what's funny? After they closed down, they did take someone to court for a late fee.
With it closed.
It was the bank that Blockbuster was using.
Yeah.
Over $1,000.
Oh wow.
Was this person's late fee?
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, they should have like instantly said, we will sue you if you do not bring this tape back. I don't know if that would have helped, but
I don't know.
It would have been something.
Another thing though too I want to mention is that okay, after all that is said and done, they're looking for a backer after filing for Chapter 11 bankruptcy, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, they ran out of ideas on where they can go. So then you have this other cable company, Dish Network. They decided to go on ahead and buy Blockbusters for $320 million, which is less than what the original company that was screwing them over paid for.
Yeah.
So at that time, Blockbusters was worth less money because of all the stuff that they've been through and everything. They made two mistakes. They made a mistake with that Viacom thing, and then they also made a mistake with Netflix not buying from them.
Yeah, they had a bunch of poor management decisions, and they, like you said, they weren't visionaries. They couldn't see past, like, oh, look at all this money we're making. Like, that's great, but you have to see, like, how much more can my revenue grows in the future. Like, you have to think beyond today,
right,
and be like a couple steps ahead. And even if an opportunity like Netflix came, like they were saying in the documentary, can you imagine if Blockbuster took Netflix on his offer? Then we would be like Blockbuster and chill. And we would be like, what are you gonna watch on Blockbuster? I don't know, maybe Stranger Things.
Right.
Oh, did you know that the new season of blah 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 is on Blockbuster? What? Let me check that out.
Right. And I believe that you can actually embrace the digital age with physical content if you do it in the correct way, in the correct context. And once they went away from the VHS, they did update their stuff to to DVDs.
Yeah, they did.
So they did try to do it in that kind of context, but at the same time, though, you're not embracing the age that there is a new age, a new dawn of people that are looking for something different.
Yeah. I remember going into one of those store closings, Blockbuster store closings, and just buying a couple of DVDs, which I have now. I think I bought Kung Fu Panda. So I got that, the little sleeve.
But let's see here. Back when I was a kid, we didn't have them. Whenever I was out of school, that's when we winded up in Bogalusa, this little small town in Louisiana. They had a Blockbuster. And I remember applying for that store and everything too. And I didn't get the job, of course, or anything like that. But also, too, I remember another thing that happened was this. I mean, I remember applying for Movie Gallery, and I wound up getting the job, and I wound up loving that job because of the fact that I had the interaction with people. People liked my picks that I would actually pick out for them if they were stumped on something that they didn't have. And then, of course, my friend Kevin would always bust my balls with, hey, can you go ahead and waive my late fee? He goes, I said, how much is your late fee anyways? He goes, $30. I said, no, man. I said, I can't do that.
No. I can see if it was 10, but geez,
right.
30.
Yeah. Kevin was always the one that always busted my balls up inside Movie Gallery. And of course, we also have mature content movies, though, too.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know if we're gonna get to the Blockbuster stories or not. But
yeah, we can if you want.
Okay, so you know my infamous Blockbuster story. When I was a kid, I went into Blockbuster. This was like late 80s into 90s, and then Big came out. And I went in the Blockbuster, and then they had like the big piano that Tom Hanks used to dance on in the movie Big, and they had like a replica of that piano in Blockbuster. So I knew that piano was there, so I just ran back there, and I was just like, just tapping on the little keys, and I think I broke it, but it was fine. I hurried up and ran and got off of it. And then there was a couple movies in Blockbuster that I saw a lot. I think my mom said it was The Wizard of Oz that we used to rent religiously. And I think I watched it so much, I kind of tore it up, and my mom had to kind of go in with a pencil and kind of just like, she's like, oh, stick it back up. She's like, there it goes, it's fixed. Thank goodness we didn't get fined for that.
Let's see. Okay, I'm gonna tell you a Blockbuster story that
Yeah,
happened when I was a kid. They actually had to close the store temporarily because a car went through it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I remember that as a kid. And I was like, okay, so no Blockbuster for me today.
Oh man.
So,
dang.
yeah.
Was
the
the
car
person
actually went
drunk?
through it. Huh?
Were they drunk?
I don't know what the story was, but I know they were closed at the time. So they went through the window, through it.
Damn.
And then there was also my very first CD that I ever owned was from a Blockbuster.
CD? You said CD?
A soundtrack.
Wait, soundtrack. Wait, they had music, right?
Yeah, they actually sold music.
It must have been in like the 90s or something.
It was back when the Cable Guy came out.
Okay.
And everything, and I bought the Cable Guy soundtrack with Jim Carrey.
Okay, yeah.
I bought that soundtrack over there, and I also bought the Wedding Singer soundtrack.
Okay. Okay.
So two of my CD. As a matter of fact, I still have the CDs in my CD holder and everything. Still, to this day, they still play.
Oh, okay. You didn't keep the cases, did you?
No, I didn't keep the cases.
Oh, okay. I was gonna ask, do they smell like Blockbuster still?
I wish I did. If I would have known, I would have just went on ahead and did that. But did you know that I actually? Now, here's another fun fact. I actually bought a Savage Garden album from them.
Yeah, and the guy from Savage Garden used to work at Blockbuster.
Right.
He's so crazy.
But I'll tell you something else that was actually funny though. I remember renting the Three Stooges video game for $1.25.
What? This must have been when were they going out of business?
No, this is in the 1980s or 1990s. I would always go. Here's the thing: I love the Three Stooges, so I would go on ahead and buy not buy the video game, but rent the video game for $1.25. And Mom was like, "I'm not paying another $1.25 for you to go play a video game." But I like it whenever I smash the pies in their face in these other people's faces.
Yeah,
she goes, I don't care what. She goes, I don't care what you like. I'm like, okay, fine.
Jeez.
And then there was another time that I picked something up because I was taking forever in the store.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll never forget it. And my mom's like, well, would you hurry the hell up so that we can get out of here? So I just grabbed something. So it was during my Uncle Charlie's birthday party, right? Mm-hmm. And I don't even have a clue of what I even picked up. So I just put the tape in. So happens to be, I think it was like a softcore porno tape.
Of course, you would do that.
And so I'm like 12 years old, 13.
Mm-hmm.
And my brother's like, what are you guys watching? And then my nephew Artie and my cousin Artie and I are like, nothing.
Like, my business.
So he hurried up and got my mom. She goes, what the hell? I was like, you made me pick it out.
Oh, gosh. John.
Because it was supposed to be like an alien type of film, sci-fi film or something like that. And I didn't even read the back of it or anything like that. And of course, I was like young.
Sure, John. Sure. It
so
sounds
anyways,
like it was it Splice?
No. At that time, this is the 90s. There was no Splice. I don't even know what the name of it is called, to be honest with you.
Okay, yeah.
But enough about me. What about your stories?
Well, I want to hear some more about your story picking up porno at Blockbuster, John. No, but yeah, I mean, I remember those long lines, and it felt like Walmart. Felt like a precursor more to Walmart now, where you have one register open and then this long line going all the way back to the fiction section. And then you're like, oh, damn, I wish they'd open another register. Damn. And then while you're there, you're like, I'll just get these Google clusters.
I'll show them. Like I'll show them.
Corporate. But yeah, I remember those long lines. It used to be when I was a kid, they used to have like a playpen or something
Really?
like that in the Blockbuster.
What
And I used
Blockbuster did you go to? I didn't have no playpen.
to sometimes we would get playpen type equipment for the kids in the kids section. Because I
It
used
was
to go
okay.
down the slide. And then I think I went down a slide and some dumb kid was in my way and they got like my foot in their face. But that was their fault. It shouldn't have been there. But but yeah, like you said, I remember all that and just not knowing what to get. Like you go on the shelf, you're like, oh, this looks okay, but I don't know. I'm not in the mood to see that. And then you be in there for an hour just trying to figure out what you want. And like you said, my mom too would be like, hurry up, because I don't have all night to be here while you pick something. And then I think at that time you only get what, 2 or 3 movies?
Yeah, you get like 2 or 3 movies and that's it.
2 or 3 movies, and then one was due back like Thursday by 10, no, by noon. And then another one was due back Friday by 8 p.m., let's say. And then, like in the documentary, they kind of played that role out. And then the guy in the documentary was like, I'm not gonna remember that. And then she was like, oh, we printed a receipt for you.
And then
So
the guy's like,
I remember that, like my sister and a lot of people were pissed about that. This is due back tomorrow by noon, and people like, I got work. Okay, I don't got time to come back by noon. So I think they kind of like extended their due back date time
yeah,
after that.
for a couple of dollars extra, I think you can rent it for like 5 extra nights. A 5-night movie rental or a 3-night or on a new rental, I believe it would have to be back the next day. For a dollar extra, I think you can go back to the next day, the day after, and go ahead and get it. It's amazing that I still know that. But yeah,
yeah. You sure you didn't work there, John?
I'm sure. I just know their policies. But then again, at Movie Gallery, we had close to the same policies.
Oh yeah, okay, standard.
And get this, I remember another thing though too at Movie Gallery, for instance. Hold on, we got one of my. This is what Brandy said. One of my favorite movies to rent at Blockbuster was Dream a Little Dream. Okay. But
I haven't seen.
Me either. I haven't seen that one. But here's another thing that happened to me at Movie Gallery. And this is what winded up happening. You know how I told you we have adult sections?
Yeah.
Well, this one guy, I knew he was not a member because of what he did. He brought all the cases that was on the shelf and brought them up to the front counter. And he had Lord of the G-String, Fellowship of the G-String. He had a Playboy softcore thing. He had several other films.
Right, it's all right.
He had like 8 films. I looked at my coworker and said, "Someone's going to be happy by the end of the night."
Yeah. Was his hand already sticky?
I don't know. I didn't even bother. But once he found out that he had to have a membership, he left.
Oh, man.
And then there's also another time when I remember my niece was actually working at a video station. So this one person brought a video station DVD to us. So I had to drive over. It's like maybe 3 minutes away. And I drove over there. I said, Anna, I think this belongs to you. This is y'all's. There's your sticker right there. She goes, what happened? I said, I don't know. Someone dropped it off over here. By the way, why do you have Don't Forget to Rewind on our DVD? And then here I am with the DVD. I was like, Anna, I'm rewinding it, but it's just not working. Here, let me try fast forwarding in it.
You're such a dick.
Get the hell out of here. I said, Movie Gallery is better. And I walked out the store, but and everybody's just laughing their asses off at me because of that, though.
Such a dick. I love it.
I'm rewinding it, Anna. I had it on my finger, spinning it. Oh, wait, let me rewind it. Oh, am I gonna get a late fee?
Oh my god. Yeah, you will. Yeah, you got a lot of late fees.
But yeah, it was just me busting her, whatever.
Oh my
But
god.
I had fun though. That video store was actually one of my favorite places to work at.
Yeah. Yeah.
To be honest
Yeah.
with you,
Yeah.
and the ladies that worked there were really sweet and everything too. We did have another instance where this kid from high school that I knew,
Mm-hmm.
he stole a GameCube. He stole a couple of video games from the store, and we rolled back the video camera, and then we tried turning them in for it, and they're like, "Oh, we can't do anything about it because it wasn't proven." I was like, "The evidence is right there." Because but you weren't on top of him seeing that he stole it. I said, "The evidence is right there on camera."
Goodness. This bunch of lazy police work.
Well, it's not them. It was actually the corporate people from Movie Gallery.
Oh, well, yeah. Well, you see, that's why Netflix took over.
Right. Like, working for a video store is rewarding, but at the same time, I could probably turn into Randall from Clerks, probably.
Yes, yes, yeah, yeah. I didn't even know, but it made sense that Quentin Tarantino worked at a video store.
It makes sense.
Mhm. Yeah, it made sense. And some of the comedians, they're not like A-list comedians, but they're pretty good comedians. I've seen them. They were talking about their experience working at the video store. One of the comedians said that when people used to drop the movies in a drop box, they would hide in a little bin and snatch it from them right when they were dropping it.
Yep.
Which I'm assuming that gave a couple people heart attacks, but they didn't care. It was funny.
No. And also, too, there was also this other thing I want to mention, too, before we close out, though, too.
Mm-hmm.
In Alaska, remember, there was like 3 video Blockbuster stores at that time.
Yeah.
So Alaska decides, hey, let's get some memorabilia from Russell Crowe.
Mm-hmm.
Or, no. It was actually, what's that? John Oliver's show.
John Oliver. Yeah.
Yeah. And basically, John Oliver says, guess what we have? We have all the clothes that Russell Crowe has ever worn. Mm-hmm. Even, what did he wear?
It was the jock strap in Cinderella Man.
Because I'll even give you the jock strap from Cinderella Man. Yeah. All this shit is yours to borrow.
Come get this.
So of course they call up John Oliver, and he was actually hard to get a hold of. But by then their company also tanked, and then next thing you know it, the people in Oregon managed to get John Oliver the stuff that John Oliver donated over to the other store.
Yeah, which is now the only store left. Because like you said, it was 4, and they slowly tanked, and now we have the one in, was it Bend, Oregon?
Yeah, Bend, Oregon.
Which is now, it seems like a pilgrimage to Mecca. Because I was just looking at their Instagram page, and what she was talking about on the documentary, people from all over come to that store because it's the last Blockbuster on the planet. And it's like a museum type of a regular Blockbuster store. Like they're on Instagram still. Right. And I told you they have a store, and
that's what I was going to get to. What's the store? What's the name of the store?
You can go on like blockbuster.com. I think it's www.blockbuster.com. But you go on their Instagram page and you can get their t-shirts, like Blockbuster merch. And the t-shirts was like $20. So I got one that says "Be Kind, Rewind." Sweet. But the kids won't know what that is. They like, rewind what?
Speaking of which, people travel from all over the world.
Oh, I thought you were going to pull out a VHS. I was like,
no. I don't think I have one.
Okay.
But I might actually have one, but
Oh.
I just don't feel like getting one out.
Oh. Okay.
But
I guess that's all right. It's
and
slightly
it's not
different.
the,
That's fine.
but it just amazes me that everybody travels from all around the country to go to this one place to get some nostalgia, just
Yeah.
to go to a video store.
Mm-hmm.
Like we have one person that traveled from Italy to go to a video store,
Yeah.
and then you had this other person that drove 16 hours to go just to go to Oregon to this video store. Now, my question is for you: would you travel that far to go to the video store to go and see the last Blockbuster?
Yeah, I probably would.
Same. I would
Yeah.
definitely do it.
I'm not even gonna lie to you. I probably would. So
How about
I
this?
can
I'll just
take a
meet you across
picture.
8 lines halfway, and then you just
Yeah.
carpool.
Yeah. 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 I come pick you up.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I take picture in front of the sign. And I'm like, oh, that's me. I'm here. Oh, hey Sandy. I saw you on the documentary. Click, 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 click. Store manager Sandy.
I'm dead.
She gets that though. She said like she had like 100 interviews once everybody knew that was the last Blockbuster. Like New York Times and all these people were interviewing them, even when the documentary was filmed. And it was like, how many interviews is that? Like 100? Dang. So yeah. And the online store keeps that store running and functioning. So everybody has to go to that website and buy their merch because we have to keep this treasure, this American treasure, open because it's the last one on this planet, which is not Earth 616, but it's one of the Earths in the multiverse. We have to keep it open. So buy some merch and keep Bend, Oregon Blockbuster open, please.
All right. So, is there any final thoughts that you want to talk about as far as the documentary goes, or do you think we pretty much covered almost everything that we wanted to say?
I saw in Target there's a party game on Blockbuster.
Really?
There's a Blockbuster party game that you can play. I'm not sure if I want to relive like somebody slap a card down, late fee, rewind. Like I don't know, but maybe it'll be fun. But yeah, my last thoughts are just keep Bend, Oregon's Blockbuster open and keep Sandy, the manager, employed and all the employees. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Look for them on Instagram and Facebook.
And also on Twitter.
Oh, they're on Twitter too. Oh,
yeah.
Oh,
yeah, they're actually on Twitter. So they're pretty much all part of the social network. But also, too, I want to mention this. I was actually happy to see Sam Levine in this documentary because he actually played in Inglourious Bastards, which is actually a Quentin Tarantino film. Mm-hmm. You know the guy with the beard with the short hair?
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's Sam. You know. But Sam Levine is also part of the Schmodown and everything too. So it was just cool to actually see him and being able to explain why he loves Blockbuster so much. And the same thing with Kevin Smith as well as to his love for Blockbuster. And to be honest with you, if you think about it, Blockbusters was a lot like going to the movies.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing. When we go to the movies, we don't think about race. We don't think about religion. We don't think about anything. We're all in a movie together, watching this film together. Mm-hmm. When you go to a Blockbuster, race doesn't matter. Religion doesn't matter. There's no separation from anything or anyone. You're all there just for one purpose only, and that is to rent a movie and to find the best movie for you. And it unites us, just like going into a movie theater and everything and watching.
If Blockbusters were still open, we would not have racism and all the isms we have in this.
Just in the store alone, we won't. When you go to the store alone, you won't have to deal with that probably. But outside the store and everything, yeah.
See, the president at that time should have kept Blockbuster open and then we wouldn't have so many racist problems and all the
Well,
isms
that's
in
a
the world.
story. Right. All right. So before, so basically, that's going to be it for the show for tonight. I do appreciate Tomeka coming on here and everything.
I
Us
love it.
talking about blockbusters, the last blockbusters. I had a lot of fun talking about this.
Yeah, love it.
This was a documentary that I've been wanting to do for a while, and I'm glad we finally did it.
Yeah, yeah, I love it. I have my Blockbuster T-shirt on with the next podcast we do.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah, you get
And
yours
guys,
too, John.
I'm gonna work on it. How about that?
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. So, with that being said, guys, go on ahead and support us. How do you guys support us, right? You're just going ahead and head over to bonfire.com and / movie lovers unite. And we have a campaign going on right now for Mafia Talk t-shirts. And they're $18. Go on ahead, get yourself a Movie Lovers Unite presents Mafia Talks t-shirt for $18. We only have 4 days left during this campaign, and once that campaign is gone, that's it. There's not going to be another campaign for a while. So go on ahead, get you some merch at bonfire.com / movie lovers unite. Another way you guys can go on ahead and support us, just go on ahead and head over to gofundme.com / movie lovers podcast. Donate $5 to $10 to us, or if you can't, that's totally fine too. We totally get it and everything. But another thing you guys can do too is go ahead and hit that like button, hit that share button and everything too. Show us some love. That's another way that you guys can actually support us. And also too, if you guys want to, go on ahead, head over to Spotify and all wherever you guys listen to podcasts from. Subscribe to the audio only podcast. We do mini shows over there. Follow me on Stereo at Movie Lovers Unit. Follow me on Twitter at Movie Lovers Unit. Of course, follow me on Facebook at Movie Lovers TV Lovers Night over there. Underneath the same brand name on Instagram and on Pinterest as well. Then, of course, if you guys are a sponsor or anything like that and would like to sponsor us, or just send me a short email, how do you do that? Just go to movieloversunite@gmail.com and then go to www.movieloversunite.com for all your entertainment needs and wants. And those are all the places that you can reach me at. Always until next time, guys. It's been real. It's been fun. Can't wait to do this again. Bye-bye.
Bye.